One thing you brought up a second ago that our audience might not understand, you were talking about non-binary.
Yes.
Would you like to try to explain that to the audience for us, please, what non-binary means?
Of course.
Thank you.
So non-binary is kind of an umbrella similar to gender non-conforming, and basically non-binary means someone who doesn't fit into the gender binary of male and female, I guess. And I usually identify mostly with non-binary because it just feels, it's the most comfortable word for me to call myself, and yeah.
Okay, so it's not a middle ground. I don't want people to think that it's truly not a middle ground to be non-binary. It's not like I'm halfway in between male and female. That's not what it means. It is its own separate, outside of that spectrum definition. And I'm beginning to understand that it takes all kinds to make a human race, and I'm imagining that gender is infinite. Like, if you can imagine a gender, it exists. And for you to then go and embrace this one and become yourself, it's got to be one of those things that other people at your school are seeing, and there might be some kid there that is like, okay, they did this. If they can do it, maybe I can. And you might not ever even know this person exists, but just by being authentic, you could be affecting people. I know for a fact you've already affected Carrie, because I see it. I mean, you know, I walked into your classroom for the first time this year, and I looked up on the wall, and there was a gender unicorn. And I'm like, okay, a gender unicorn, for the people that don't know, it's kind of a poster that has it's got a unicorn on there that's this grotesquely purple looking unicorn. It's not the best looking of unicorns, but it is a unicorn. And it has a kind of a spectrum sliding chart of different terminology as far as sexual identity, gender identity, and things like that. And the kids see that, and I saw it, and it gave me an opportunity to come talk to you. And that's how this conversation with you began, was all because of that silly purple gender unicorn on your wall that I saw. I'm like, okay, she's safe. I can speak to her. The thing that is not safe is when we get out into the world, people, I'm assuming, still want to classify you binary. When they come up, a stranger that sees you, it would be difficult for you to be called she at this point.
Yeah.
It would be difficult, I'm not sure, but to be called he at this point.
Yeah.
A stranger at a gas station or restaurant or something, chances are, because they've been so binary driven, they're going to use one of those two pronouns with you. How do you cope with that? Because there's going to be people that this is happening to that are going to want to know, how do you deal with it, and is it okay? Do you handle it well? Or is it one of the harder things?
I mean, it definitely doesn't feel good when someone looks at me and the first thing they think is, like, 99% of the time they're like, oh, hello, miss, have a nice night, miss. And I'm like, oh, that's not right. But I try to not hate these people. I try to not feel like they're hurting me, because I know when most of the time they're just trying to be nice people by telling me to have a good day. And like, even though they throw a gendered word in there, my feelings are that it's not personal. Okay. Unless they're saying something that's meant to be hurtful to me, like a slur or something. They're just trying to be nice. They probably don't know my pronouns. I actually have like a vest and things that say they, them, their on them, which I wear in public sometimes.
Good for you.
Because I know there are people out there who've heard of my pronouns before, and I thought maybe even people who don't will see this and say, weird that there are pronouns on your clothing. And then maybe think maybe someone refers to themselves with these pronouns. But yeah.
You know, a walking messenger board.
Yes.